Hi, everyone. This is the first of hopefully many live videos, unedited videos, in which I will be answering some questions that are sent to me by email or that show up in the comments of my longer videos. And today I wanted to answer a great question that was asked by someone who I've been working with one-on-one. This lovely young lady has vestibular migraine and a diagnosis of triple PD, so she has chronic dizziness. And her question was how she can know that triggering her dizziness, either on purpose or by accident, isn't going to strengthen the dizziness response in the brain. How do we know that it's actually going to lead to dizziness decreasing versus increasing? This is a great question. This is one I get asked a lot. And I just want to start by saying that those of you who have this question have a completely legitimate reason for having it. Dizziness sucks. And once you have it, you will do pretty much anything in your power to not feel dizzy anymore. That, of course, it leads to its own set of issues that we've talked about in some of my longer form videos and we can address later. But the gist of it is it makes complete sense that you don't want to do things that might potentially make your dizziness worse or last longer. And I wanted to reassure you that by triggering your dizziness in a controlled way, like we've talked about in the channel, and by handling existing dizziness in the ways that we've described on this channel using parasympathetic breathing, for example, you are actually decreasing your dizziness response in your brain. So I wanted to go in a little bit deeper and explain how that actually works, since this is a question I've been asked a few times. So when you have dizziness, your brain is more sensitive than normal to movement. That's what dizziness is. It's not that the movements themselves cause dizziness. The sensitivity of your brain to particular movements is what leads to dizziness. So when I turn my head like this, my brain says, okay, cool, you just turned your head. When you turn your head, your brain says, oh my gosh, you just turned your head, stop, something terrible is happening. And it produces this sensation of dizziness to get you to stop. That's what dizziness is. It's your brain saying, stop moving, stop doing what you're doing. So when you're experiencing dizziness, the issue isn't the actual movement or trigger itself. It's the fact that your brain is so extra sensitive to those triggers or movements. And decreasing sensitivity in your brain is our ultimate goal. So we want your brain to continue to respond to movements because it should. You should know when you're moving. You should even feel dizzy when you move too fast. That's normal. But we don't want it to have this extra strong, abnormally strong response to movement that makes it create this sensation of dizziness and which basically makes you stop moving, right? So I thought a little analogy here might be helpful. So if you're sitting in a dark room and someone just turns the lights on, what happens? You go, right? Because your eyes are not adjusted to the light. In fact, really, your eyes and brain aren't adjusted to the light, right? So you can think about a brain that gets dizzy easily as a brain that's been sitting in the dark for a while. And when it moves, aka when the lights turn on, it's just, whoa, overwhelming. It's like all the spotlights came on, super bright, going from dark to bright in one fell swoop, really, really abruptly. So what we're trying to do with these relaxation exercises, brain exercises, parasympathetic breathing, some of the other tools that we've talked about, is basically giving you a dimmer switch. We want your eyes, in my analogy, to be able to tolerate light. You want to be able to turn the lights on so you can see, right? You want to be able to move so you can live your daily life. But turning the lights on really abruptly when you're used to sitting in the dark is not going to work. Moving really abruptly when your system is ultra sensitive to movement isn't going to work. So our job is to start to slowly turn up the dimmer switch and make sure you have the dimmer switch in your hand. In other words, you can control the amount of light in the room. And therefore, once you have a little more control over that light, you're going to be free to move from room to room, adjusting your dimmer as you go until one day the lights can be fully on and you will be perfectly comfortable or have enough control of your dimmer switch that you can adjust as necessary. In other words, the goal is in vestibular therapy or healing from a vestibular disorder, healing from chronic dizziness, the goal is to adjust how sensitive your brain is to these various movements. So again, the movements and triggers themselves aren't really a problem. They're not the culprit. The culprit is how your brain responds. So all of the things that we do to help change the way your brain responds is going to make your dizziness feel better, because your brain's not going to have that, oh my gosh, you got to stop right now type of response anymore. I hope that was a helpful explanation, and I would love to hear your thoughts. And if you have any more questions, drop them below. I will answer them in future videos. Talk to you guys soon.